my saucy little squishmallows, my little One Piece squishmallows out there, because today we have and we are getting the Lord's work. And when I say Lord, we're talking about the deity himself, Eiichiro Oda, because today is Sunday. It is the official read, the official live reaction to One Piece Chapter 1191. Let me go ahead and pull everything up. Let me say this. What's up, everybody? TikTok. What's up on Kick? What's up on Twitch? And what is up on YouTube? What's up? Perfect. That was a little bit of scat in there. That's history. Research that shit. But we're here to take a look at, and what we do on the official live reads is I read this with you. I pull up the pages for you. All you have to do is look, not for this. This is right here is where you can go to follow on Twitter at underscore Edge2 Gaming. Edge2 Gaming on YouTube, unless you're looking for anime like this, is Edge2 Otaku on YouTube. But let's go ahead and put that up because we are about to go ahead. Ooh, let me check some real quick. Check the properties. Okay, good. We good. Let's go ahead and get ready. I like this is the format for Reacher. We just watched Reacher. If you guys have not been here, I am watching more series here on the channel. So prepare for that. One, it's because the PlayStation's overheating. Like, I've got to scrape it. It's sitting on the side and shit. So, you know, it is what it is. It's not going to stop us from doing anything. It just means I'm going to do some different shit. And some of the different shit I'm doing is watching anime. There we go. And now we are ready to go. Trying to do this shit and talk. But yeah, I'm watching new shit. So we have a new soccer anime that is here. I will post about that so that way you guys can go ahead and jump in and watch for the watch parties. We also have Reacher, and there's no telling what else I'll watch. Once I get something in my head or hear from you guys for a vote, that is what we will watch. So make sure to join Patreon, different tiers, get the full episodes and get more access, just because they're shutting everything down with copyrights. But I will make sure to get you the fucking shit that you need. So let's go ahead and start. Let's get into this. Why is this not? Hang on a second. It's open. You motherfucker. There we go. That's why we're on the wrong one. Boom. Now we're looking good. We got fucking One Piece up here for you guys. This is the cover, the color cover where everybody's wearing afros except for Nico Robin and Tony Chopper. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Souls Never Age. We have Luffy with the red afro with the bird singing on top. Usopp with the black. Brook with the black, Chopper and Zoro with green afro, Sanji with the blue one, Jinbei with the green one, and Frankie with the red one. These are your Straw Hat Pirates. That's a nice little opening. I always like these color cover pages and how Oda draws them, because this might actually hint to something else, because we have a wolf here. They met a wolf on Skypiea. We have a cat. We met a cat on Zanisha that followed us to Wano. There's a lot of different hints here, but also the afros from the Davy back fight. So let's not write those off, because real men fighting afros, real men fighting the Davy back fights. We are here. Chapter 1191. The cover didn't have it on here, but the title is There's Still Loki. As we see Luffy, why am I still alive? As he stumbles to his feet. If I go out of this form, it's going to be bad news. Hey, old man guy. And this is something that you notice since Copper Gaban has been an ass. And he's not even an ass. Since he's been setting Luffy straight, he's been disrespecting him. Luffy's been mad, and he's been calling him old men in a disrespectful tone. And this comes from our native Japanese speaker. We can find the link in the description for each week's live reactions. I always watch that first before I come and do my read to see if there's anything that might contextually be missed. And now I see it because it says, hey, old man guy. Luffy called Rayleigh old man before Rayleigh became his mentor. Now he's saying the same thing because Scopper's like up in his ass telling him he can't be Pirate King, he's weak, but also he stepped in and saved his life. So there's a little bit of admiration there. And for you guys that think Luffy is just this dumb, goofy oaf, it may come off that way in the series with the dub. But the way that he speaks, the intonation, the tone, what he says, how he says it, carries a lot more weight in the world of One Piece. So even though we may, in our head, view Luffy as being goofy, he's been serious on levels that we haven't seen yet. Now, he is not giving up on Elbaph because he knows where he needs to be. It's been mentioned several times by Usopp, Sanji, the crew, that they're Yonko level, even Frankie, but are they really there? So Luffy continues as they're on the branch that they knocked Imu down from. Hey, old man guy. Damn it, Scopper says. He got my arm. Sorry, it's only because you were defending me, Luffy says as he stumbles over to him. Don't be stupid. I've lost my hope in you. I was fighting for Elbaph's sake, Scopper says. Scopper says he lost. Damn, I closed it. He's lost his hope in fucking Luffy. So Luffy, the man that came here, he saw some promise in, he tested him and Zoro. Shortly after he tested him and Zoro, and remember what Shanks says, they had gone to the underworld, and then he's like, yo, Zoro, you need to get your Conqueror's Haki under control. Sanji, you could have it, but you are, you know, you're basically slowing yourself down. You're beating yourself up for some shit that you need to figure out. So the pass that he kind of gave him, he didn't already took back. Scopper's still laying on the ground. I guess we can't let things go. Or I guess we can't let things end this way, huh? And Luffy, blood on his chest, just eyes damn near gone. Old man guy, who is he? Who is he? Ugh, as he ties off his arm. Ugh. It's nothing something anyone ought to know. If I had to call him anything, it'd be. And then we travel to the underworld where the branches have fallen. Look at the mountaintops, because remember, the branches were cut up by the Gate of God technique by Scopper Gaban with his huge cock raining down from the sun world. Boom, they dropped down, but Imu dropped down on the mountaintop himself. And Scopper finishes his sentence as we travel to the underworld. He was saying, if I had to call him anything, it'd be God. Then we go to the underworld. We see these big the panda, the wolf. They're getting ready to come up. They're like, some food down here. And all of a sudden, Black Conqueror's Haki comes down. Boom, they're knocked the fuck out. Thud, thud, they fall. More. There is more Conqueror's Haki up here. And then we hear from the man himself. His sword, Hanabame, is stuck in the ground. He's laying on his back. And he goes, crew of the king of the pirates. And now notice he's still got one eye covered. His right eye is the only one that's open. Two-hornedy motherfucker with one eye open. He says, I failed to foresee what would become of those mere children at God Valley. This is the second time he's failed to see some shit off in the future. Imu's just a boy. It's his world, but he needs a party girl. We go to page 6, and we see him raise that dirty motherfucking hand with the ink on. He says, I should have eliminated all of it, along with rocks, on that day years ago, and boom, he has the 9-tailed chakra over him in hardcore-ass black. And we see him, flames are swelling around his butthole. He has little cuffs coming out. He has the horns growing. And this is the first time, creak, creak, crack, crack, we see both of our boys' eyes. The Sharingan is active. He is now looking two-eyed, twofold. And he says, these motherfuckers are where? He looks up. Zoom. Takes off, destroys the mountaintops he's on, and leaves an ass crack of Haki there. As he goes up, Oda takes us over to the Owl Library, Sun World, rear entrance tunnel. Chopper goes, oh, I'm so glad. All the books are fine then. Nico Robin, yes, Biblo saved them all, but we always see that Conqueror's Haki in the background. They're not letting us just think everything is all cupcakes and rainbows. Chopper and them should feel this hockey, if not see it. Then Saul says, "So there's the thing, Chopper. I was hoping you could talk to Biblo for us." And then we see how fucking big Biblo is to Saul. Jaguar D. Saul. He continues. He goes, "It seems like he's trying to tell us something, but I can't tell what it is." And then Chopper says, "Really? I just assumed Biblo was a silent owl." And Biblo goes, Who? I am here. I'm talking. Only one man can understand me." He goes, who? And Chopper goes, "Huh?" And my theory before we go on is he's telling Chopper about his devil fruit, because weird shit has happened with Scopperty Chopper right here. Because Chopper went with Scopper, he bandaged him up, he gets like a bump up, but also he's taking care of Gerd, other giants on Elbaph, bitch slapping giants back to the human form out of Adomi Reversi. Chopper's had a glow up, and people are just not respecting the shit. It's not as big as Luffy and the rest of them, but he had a glow up this one. Even Zolo gave him some credit. But we go back down to the underworld, coming up to the sun, where we see the branches shaking. Supreme conquers hockey, shaking things. Scopper Gaban falls over holding his arm. Luffy is just booty shaking still on the ground. Yow! And then we see coming up with that Superman fist, Imu. The transform, the ever-living conquers hockey coming off the top of the fist as he holds Hanabame in his hand, and he hovers over, big as shit, over Scopper and Monkey D. Luffy. Then we get to see our boy spread his wings, flame hair, 4 horns, sword in the hand, got the burgundy cuffs on, sitting here, black flames, round the genitals, tail up in the air. He says, "An impressive feat to escape Hanabame's wrath at the cost of only 1 arm." Conquers hockey clashing everywhere, just shaking Luffy and Scopper. He says, "Hey, you're stepping on my line," Scopper says as he looks up. "I couldn't just let you get off free after an attack like that. I'd give you a round of applause, but you know," as we see Scopper's lonely fucked hands behind him, but this man, he don't give a fuck. And one thing we have to note, Scopper is one of the motherfuckers in this series that has a right eye scar. The only other person that we've seen with the right eye scar is Rayleigh, because Zoro has a left eye scar. If you look at Imu right now, Imu has a left eye tattoo. Where was Davy D. Zebex? You have to look at the scars and the tattoos. Rayleigh, Scopper, strong motherfuckers from that era, right side scars. Rayleigh had his 44 years ago at God Valley. Scopper didn't have his when Shanks visited him 14 years ago. It happened after the fight with, well, it didn't happen at the beginning. It happened after the fight with Harold. So we see he's having this exchange with Imu, and Imu says, "There will be nothing left of thee after the next." And Luffy says, "Is that him? But he looks different." And Scopper says, "Take your people and get off Elbaph now, Straw Hat." And then, as soon as he says it, Luffy, the motherfucker that does not listen, turns on his belly. "You know I can't do that." And he says, "You're a dead man walking here. You're useless," Scopper says, holding his axe in his hand, about to go back to war, thinking of Roger and the Roger Pirates. And Luffy says, "So are you. You can't fight like that." Imu says, "Bitch, I done transformed. I done got my goatee shaped up. My locks is looking luscious. Hanabame," as he gets ready to thrust again. We see him coming down, barreling, Conqueror's hockey coming off Scopper Gaban's only arm as he crosses his chest with his axe. And Luffy's yelling, "You can't do it, run!" And then he says, "Old man guy," his last yell. Scopper Gaban's like, "Fuck this, I'm about to give it for this motherfucker that Shanks talked about." He stomps on the ground. Is that Scopper Gaban's boot? Yes, it is. But at that moment, we see a big bitch come in. And who is this big bitch? The first son of King Harold. Imu all of a sudden looks right before a hand is laid on him. Gungar, he says. And he is doing just like he did on Dressrosa against that big heavy bitch. Sitting here punching, pushing the force. Imu is stopping it kind of. Imu still has Hanabama in his hand. He's like, oh, this motherfucker done hit me in the side. Luffy said, what? Hiruden? And Hiruden is gritting his fucking teeth with that gap. And we see him punch through Imu's guard. And he yells like the big ass giant king he wants to be. And Gaban looks, but Imu says, bitch, I got Maki on my side. Boom. He makes a single flame. But even as he makes a flame, Hiruden bulges his muscles, stomps his foot harder into Elbaph's branch soil, and flings that motherfucker across into an embedment. But before Imu embeds himself into the permanent rocks of Elbaph, he goes dot dot doom and shoots off 3 flame bombs. Hiruden sees him even though his left eye is bandaged up, and as Imu hits the wall, the 3 bombs go off. And we see how big the gaping gap is from the branch the Gaban destroyed with Gate of God, but also how big the explosion is compared to it that Imu just let off on Hiruden. But fuck it, Hiruden doesn't care because we hear crumble and we see a crater in the wall, just like Loki hit Imu. Imu's coughing, blood on the face after a fresh transformation, just like Frieza did when he transformed to his 3rd form and Piccolo showed up and said, bitch, this is my hometown. We see a hiss, crack, crack, and the fucking shield that Hiruden had that blocked the flames crumbles. And he says, you'll never get me with that one again, because last time he fucked him up. He shot him point blank. Hiruden's huffing and puffing, and then he bends down. Mr. Ya, how can this be? He took off your arm. And then we hear, thanks for your help, Hiruden. But he's immortal. There's no way to win, Scopper continues to say. Help Straw Hat Luffy escape. And you know Luffy throwing tantrums on his back, kicking and screaming. And Hiruden says, Straw Hat, hey, stay out of this. I'm not running away. And Scopper goes, listen to me, boy. What can you do with those injuries? And Mean Muggin just face Chucky Finster. When Chucky got mad, he says, I'm healing up my wounds right now. And Scopper goes, what nonsense are you talking about? You can't do that. All of a sudden, Luffy starts kicking his legs. Group, group. Now, if he's regurgitating food he's already eaten, I think he stored it away in his body. And now he's bringing it back up. He said, I made sure to fight on a full stomach. Don't worry, I can do this. And then Scopper holding his arm, yelling like he did at Roger, says, that's not real logic. You can't keep fighting. It's clear. And then, zoom, zoom, zoom. We hear buzzing through the air, flame bombs. Luffy looks over, says, oh, bombs. And then we see our boy coming in because he hasn't done much. I mean, he's been trying to do shit, but he hasn't done much up until this point. Hiruden grabs him. Luffy goes, whoa, as his body doubles in size like he looked eating from the room after getting healed up from Magellan's poison. Belly big, but Hiruden gets shot in the fucking back. 3 bombs as he covers Scopper Gaban and Monkey D. Luffy. And they say, Hiruden! And then we see Imu off the wall, up in the air over him, and they look, they say, here he comes. Pull back so we can come up with a plan, Hiruden, Scopper says. Imu just looking like, bitch, you done already hit me in the wall. I'm killing everybody. Scopper Gaban is on the Route 8 branch with Luffy. Hiruden turns around. He goes, remember, Mr. Ya, Elbaph will never give in. Our warriors are prepared to die in glorious battle. Even though his dad tried to change the warrior way, this era of warriors, right after Dory and Brogy with Hiruden and them, they still know what warfare is. And Scopper says, don't be stupid, you will die. Because, you know, Scopper's like, yo, I know this motherfucker. This motherfucker never came. He never left home. He never left his stoop. And now I see him in a way that I haven't seen him before. Last time he was on a big spider motherfucker's back. Now he came out here and now he's transformed again. I don't think we can win this one. He didn't cut off my arm. And my Conqueror's hockey is pretty fucking big. Hiruden says, but if I die, there's still Loki, and then coming running after being bandaged and healed by Gerd. That's right, brother. Loki And then Loki says, square up to Imu. Imu looks at him, still hovering, looking down, by the way. Not looking straight on, not looking up, but looking down at these bitches. And then Luffy goes, pew! He's like, and look, I'm all better. And he expands his body. Blood still all over, but I guess he has finished eating and consuming whatever reserves he had. Now he has enough energy to join Loki and Hyrule. Scopper says, what's wrong with these guys? And we hear gum gum, and Emu was like, what the fuck? I thought I beat his ass. We don't see Conqueror's Haki coming off Hyrule and his, what does he have? An axe? Mace? But we do see Conqueror's Haki coming off of Ragnar and fucking Loki. Then we see Luffy gritting his teeth, Hyrule gritting his teeth, Loki, and Emu sitting here hitting the JoJo's pose. And then we hear triple general Gokoku sovereignty. And 1, 2, 3, they all fucking hit Emu. Now, as Emu fucked up, did Emu get knocked back? Emu actually saw this coming. So I'm gonna say that Emu has braced and prepared for this, but we have seen over and over Emu has immense Conqueror's Haki, but he lacks observation Haki on a point to where he didn't see Hyrule, who brings no fucking Conqueror's Haki. And Hyrule has the ability to generate it because Harold, his daddy, he has ancient giant blood. Hyrule can do this. This is his next step. I thought the motherfucker would have did it between Dressrosa and here, but I'm not mad at it because it slows things down. Something's going to happen here. Do we think the Straw Hats are evacuating Elbaph? Luffy seems like he does not want to. Chopper's getting ready to learn something. I think Chopper's going to learn about his power and be able to come to Luffy's aid. But Frankie is the only... well, was Frankie? Frankie wasn't the only other person. I think Zoro was the only other person to say something about Chopper's ability. We still have... oh, excuse me. We still have Zolo and Sommers, Sanji and Killingham. Sanji had to come up with Conqueror's Haki. We need to see something from Jinbei. Also, Nico Robin. I mean, Nico Robin did well. She took on Sommers, but we still need something from the rest of our Straw Hats. So there's more to come. How'd you guys feel about this chapter 1191? Hey, thank you. Oh, that's from, okay, so I think that was Nam. Remember, it's September. Subs are 30% cheaper. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub every single month. So why not use it on the channels that you love? You just have to go in and sub. But also emotes are down and free. Thanks for the bits. We have a bit goal. We have a sub goal. We have a follower goal. Make sure to go to the page and check those out and contribute. Add your friends if they like One Piece, if they like anime, manga. Fuck, if you like Reacher, I told you episode 1 who Reacher was fucking. I knew it. I knew who his first fuck was. I mean, I can look at Reacher and tell. We have like a, you know, it happens. It happens. We see him coming a mile away. But we're here. We're looking at Emu. Emu's not playing around. He got knocked out by Scop and he's like, fuck, I should have fucked him up. But Emu did not have enough future sight to see, even after God Valley, that the Roger Pirates would be a problem. He did not have enough future sight to see Loki come and hit him, Luffy hit him, Hyrule, all three of these motherfuckers that are hitting him right now, he did not see coming out of fucking nowhere at all. So Emu has flaws, but Emu has a great power. And I also want to know what Emu's devil fruit is, because it was stated by Oda, and I'm gonna have to do this in another video or next time, that in a world, basically in a world of devils, there is a devil king. Now, is that Emu? Because Emu's devil, the four horns, looks similar to the Harley, where there was a sixth horn black form that was holding the sun. And we have to think that's the unlimited resource, the power that Vegapunk's trying to create. If the last user of Ragnar froze that sun, or was on Emu's side and froze the Galila Giants, the only one to save them and save Elbaph, or put Elbaph forward, would be Loki, as the current holder of Ragnar and Nidhogg. That means Loki can bring back not only the ancient flames, but also the Galila Giants, and combine those with Hyrule, because Hyruden's traveled the world trying to unify all giants. He wants to be the king of all giant kind. He wants Elbaph to be the home for all giants, because that wasn't afforded to his mother. She was an outcast. Granted, the best fucking outcast we had. She created a bar. She's welcoming people on the shore. Shanks and them loved them. That's why we have Mota and them now. Still, we need them to be accepted. There could have been a different story between Loki and Hairudin, and there kind of is now. They felt the same about Ida. They felt the same about Harold, but they felt different about the villagers because things were hidden, and Loki was the one that could take on that burden. So now his burden and the relief of that stress, Hairudin taking on the burden of his little brother, now knowing what happened, and Luffy taking on the burden of Elbaph as someone that's always wanted to come here, who has a friendship with Dorian Broggie, who's heard what's happened. Shanks, this is one of Shanks's territories. Shanks's, and then how is this going to change? Is Shanks's territory the underworld, and Luffy and then we'll have the sun world? We still haven't been to the heaven world. There's so much more to come. Put your theories and predictions in the comments below. Let me know. Remember, there's polls out each and every week for each chapter, and go visit our native Japanese speaker to hear more of the contextual nuances if I missed any in this chapter. It's very, very fucking fascinating because we're going to that last battle, but what else is happening off of Elbaph? What other things that have been tied in the story are coming present now? This shows us that there's so many forms. Chopper has 7 devil fruit forms. Luffy's gear 5. Luffy has like 3 gear 4 forms. He has his gears, and then he can transform to whatever he wants in the gear mode. So just as powerful and transformative as Imu. Imu has 19 weapons and has transformed from the silhouette in Marijoa to the big, and it has been theorized that that is the human form. What we're seeing here now, both forms that we've seen on Elbaph are hybrid forms, and then what Sabo had to try to rescue Cobra from was the full transformed version, Mythic Zoan, Devil Zoan, whatever it is of Imu. We will get more as it goes on. I don't think we're on break next week. If we are, then I will try to bring you something, but we have some news for One Piece, so it can hold us over. I'll be back with another stream on that, and we'll do that quickly. Thank you guys so much. I'm Elijah 5000. Let me know what you think. Make sure, if you want more anime content, manga content, One Piece breakdowns for the manga, Dragon Ball, whatever it is, we will have votes on those. I will do them here on this stream. Edge 2 Otaku is a place on YouTube where you can get all your manga and anime needs. Edge 2 Gaming is for the video games. Now I'm having some issues with the PS5. Again, your subs, everything helps. The views help continue to keep this show free, but also afford me some money to get shit fixed. This is a first-gen PS5, so right now time is limited, but I will be back with more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC gameplay. The Time Chamber Tuesdays will come back. I just want to have hours to play instead of like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Resident Evil 9, I got to get back in, and God of War Ragnarok before LUFFY comes out. So there'll be a lot of shit that we do here, but thank you guys. I'm Elijah 5000. Make sure to follow Rifty Beat on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you follow and get your music for. But this is copyright music that you can use as a streamer without getting hit with any kind of infractions. And it's good. It's video game and anime based trap music. So thank you guys. I'm Elijah 5000. I'll catch your ass in the next one. Peace.